Yes. Hello everyone. So I just got back from seeing Thor Ragnarok. As you can see, I've got my Marvel superheroes t-shirt on, keeping the streets safe. And this is my review of the film. Now, this review will be broken down into two sections. First, a spoiler-free section, where I just go over the film in general and discuss my recommendations and my final verdict on whether you should see it. And second part will be spoiler talk, where I discuss specific scenes that really got to me, that really interested me. So first of all, for the spoiler-free section, go see this movie. Like seriously, now go see it because if you are a Marvel superhero fan, if you are a Thor fan, a Hulk fan, you will not be disappointed. This movie is awesome. Um, and this is a fun movie, and that's the key word here is fun. Uh, because from the moment that I walked into the theater to the moment that I walked out of the theater, I was smiling ear to ear. In fact, my cheeks hurt because I was laughing so hard. The jokes are perfect. The comedy timing is perfect. I was laughing throughout the whole thing. The action sequences were some of the best action sequences in any Marvel movie to date, any superhero movie to date, actually. And I love I love the acting. I love the characters' personalities and the way they sort of bounced off each other. I thought the dialogue was very well. Specifically, I love the interaction between Thor and Bruce Banner. I thought that was done very well. I love how they sort of conflicted off of one another. I also really loved Tom Hiddleston as Loki returns, which is he's always fun to see. I love him. I loved Valkyrie. I thought she was a strong character. I loved Hela as a villain. I loved Jeff Goldblum. Everyone here, I love Mark Ruffalo, obviously, and Chris Helmsworth. Everyone here is great in their role in the film. And also the cinematography. The cinematography on this movie is beautiful. It is some of the best cinematography in any movie I've seen. In fact, you could freeze frame some images in this movie and hang them up in your wall like a painting. They're that good. And I love the pacing and editing of this movie. There was never a dull moment for me. Throughout the entire movie, from start to finish, I was thoroughly entertained. Uh, this is uh, the this is a fantastic superhero movie. I highly recommend it. My final verdict for Thor Ragnarok is a 9 out of 10. Very, very high 9 out of 10. Go see it. You won't be disappointed. Okay, so welcome to the spoiler section of this review, where I talk about the scenes that really stuck out to me. First of all, um, I loved, as I said before, Hela is an awesome villain. In fact, Hela is probably my favorite Marvel villain to date. I like her even more uh, than uh, than Ultron because at the beginning, at the first act of this movie, Thor throws his hammer at her and she crushes it into a bunch of little tiny pieces, and the fact that she could do that, that she could crush Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, shows just how powerful and dangerous she is as a villain. And what's cool is that in the long run, by crushing Thor's hammer, she accidentally makes him stronger because he is incapacitated for a while, but but towards the end of this movie, you really get to see why he is called the God of Thunder. He fully lives up to that potential. He's got lightning shooting out of his body, out of his eyes. Thunder is all around him. It's just a really cool end action sequence. I also really liked Jeff Goldblum in this movie. As I said before, Jeff Goldblum is basically playing Jeff Goldblum. That's really all there is to it. But I thought he was perfect as the Grand Master. He was funny. My favorite moment for him is an after credit scene where he's walking out and he meets sort of all of the people that he's been enslaving and oppressing, and he's like, "Hooray, we won! We defeated the evil empire that was me. You overthrew the great dictator, and I played a role in that. I was the dictator that you guys overthrew. Haha! Hooray for us! It's a tie." I thought that was really funny. I love Tom Hiddleston in this movie as the always devious and deceitful Loki. He was fantastic. I loved the scene where Loki and Thor are standing in the street and then on the sidewalk, and Loki gets teleported by Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange does make a cameo in this movie. I was very shocked to find that, and I'm really glad he did because I love Doctor Strange as a character, and it was great to see him again. I also really love the fight scene between Thor and Hulk. I've never been a big Planet Hulk fan, but this movie made me want to almost read the comic. Um, and I love how at the end Hulk jumps really high and then he just smashes into Thor. I also like how he throws Thor around like a rag doll in many of the same ways that he did to Loki in the first Avengers movie. And then Loki is in the audience and he's like, "Aha, see, brother, now you know how it feels." I thought that was quite funny. I also really love my favorite action scene in the movie is actually when Bruce Banner is he's flying this ship and they're in this like huge dogfight. They're trying to get off the planet, and Thor and Valkyrie are taking out all of the people that are trying to follow them, trying to shoot at them. I thought that was really cool. I loved Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner in this movie. He was fantastic as always. A fun thing is that the Hulk actually talks in this movie, which is something I was quite shocked to see, and I'm glad that they made this choice because it makes him even more interesting of a character than he already was. Now, I've always been one of the people that I actually prefer Bruce Banner over the Hulk. Bruce Banner is more entertaining for me than the Hulk. But this movie made me like the Hulk just as much as I do Bruce Banner, because the Hulk actually has his own unique personality. And the reason for that is because at this point in the movie, Bruce Banner has been stuck on Sakaar and he's basically been trapped in Hulk form for 2 years. Now, don't worry, he does change back, as seen in the trailer, but I thought that was sort of an interesting take on the character. I'm not sure how I feel about the direction going into it. But there's a scene that actually quite upsets me. That not upsets me, but it really pulls at my heartstrings, and it's a great scene. Bruce Banner is talking to Thor, and he basically says how like usually him and Hulk are basically two hands on the steering wheel, but that lately the Hulk has been on the steering wheel completely, and he shoved Bruce Banner into the trunk. I thought that really stuck out to me, and because I can only imagine what it must be like for Bruce Banner to be repressed by the Hulk for so long. Hopefully, he becomes the dominant personality again in future Avenger movies. Again, I really love that they played up the Jekyll and Hyde aspect, that the Hulk really hates Bruce Banner. He does not want to change back into Bruce Banner, and Bruce Banner, in turn, really hates the Hulk and does not want to turn into the Hulk. I really love the drama of that, the way they played that up. I really loved Stan Lee's cameo in this movie. I thought that this was my favorite Stan Lee cameo in any movie to date, because he plays this like half alien cyborg thing. He's in this cool costume and he basically cuts off Thor's hair. He's got these like scissor things and he laughs maniacally like, ha ha ha, ha. That was great. That was so cool. I loved that scene. And again, this was just a fantastic movie. I'm very excited to see where they take the Hulk's character and Bruce Banner in the future. I'm wondering if the whole body share conflict ever gets resolved properly. Hopefully it will. It'll be interesting to see where it goes in the future, and it'll be cool to see a more powerful version of Thor now that he's got his he doesn't need his hammer anymore. He's really strong, really powerful. So yeah, that's I guess that's all I can really talk about for this movie. I discussed just about everything I wanted to discuss. Um, so yeah, I really love this. I'm very excited for Avengers Infinity War. I can't wait till that comes out. There is another cameo in this movie. Black Widow makes a brief appearance. Well, not an appearance, but her hologram appears in the Quinjet, and that's actually what triggers the Hulk to transform back into Bruce Banner. So it was great to see that again. There were tons of references to past Avengers movies, and this was just a great time. A fantastic movie. I also loved Korg. I thought Korg was absolutely hilarious in this film. As I said, I never read Plant Hulk, so I don't know much about Korg. But if he's anything in the comics like how he was portrayed in the movie, then he is definitely one of my favorite side characters. I loved his lines. I loved his British accent. He was just really hilarious. That's all I have really to say about this movie. I hope all of you had just as much fun seeing it as I did. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So I love this movie. Can't wait for Avengers Infinity War. And yeah, bye.